are stories that connect us to ourselves and each other. These stories reveal who we are and show us the many vivid, wild colors of our truth. Welcome to Soul Wanderings, where we raise spiritual awareness and foster connections through these shared stories and personal experiences. And now, exclusively on KGRA Radio, I give you your host for Soul Wanderings Radio. Here's AJ.
Welcome to Soul Wanderings, a show about journey stories. And we are hanging out here on the one and only KGRAradio.com, heard throughout our universe every Wednesday. Each week, we get to wander with a new guest about their authentic experiences through this human journey. And it's so awesome to have you here with us for another live show. Thank you for your patience in the delay. Thank you for waiting around for us, because tonight is going to be amazing. I can guarantee that. We have an awesome guest in the house, so thank you for being here. My name's AJ Rasmussen, and I am an owner and manager of an intentional heart-centered healing space. It's called Vibes, Mind, Body, Spirit, and it's there where I get to assist others in their personal journeys of healing the mind, body, spirit, and the heart. And I'm also your host of Soul Wanderings. If you guys are listening live with us tonight, make sure you hop on over to the chat room, hosted on KGRAradio.com. I hang out there and I grab your questions that you may have for the guests. And if you guys do find yourself wanting to ask a question, you'll want to be there with us. And you can do that by going to KGRAradio.com/chat. And I hope to find you there with myself and the other wanderers. Let's get to it, shall we? Tonight, I am giddy. Like I said, I'm so excited to introduce you to my new friend, Audrey Christensen. Audrey is the creator behind Hey Be Fab. She's a textile artist who believes that by embracing your inner spunk, you can find freedom from the mundane. She challenges you to think beyond yourself and allow your inner diva to come out and play. She encourages you to create art in any way possible and helps get you started with providing you a place to learn, grow, and connect by teaching local workshops and hosting creative online tutorials. In addition to all of this awesomeness, Audrey is also one heck of an authentic human being. Let me say that a few times. That's a mouthful. Authentic human being, which everyone knows I'm a sucker for. I love the authentic conversations. Please welcome our latest wanderer, Audrey Christensen.
Hi, guys. Hi. How is everybody doing?
See? Spunky.
Yeah. Spunky. Yeah, I'm a little kind of crazy and kind of out there sometimes, but I feel like that's really important. So to get to know me, since, this is my first time on your lovely show, and I hope not to be the last.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
I am somebody that believes that the weirdness and everything that you have going on in your personality is so important and so vital to just be completely who you are without worrying about the judgment from those of society or from those around you or even from the people that love you the most, right? It's this kind of weird challenge that we all try to live our life accordingly to others, but we have yet to learn to live our life for ourselves. Mm-hmm. And so once I realized that how vital and how important that was, I was like, that's it. I am sharing that all out with everybody and anybody that would want to listen, because it's so important. It's just so important to find who you truly are and what purpose that is for you. And it doesn't have to be this big, huge, grand thing that we all think that we are supposed to be about, right? It can be just like the simple moments that you have, where for me, it's like the simple moments that I have in my art book and like my illustrations, and the moments that I have where I have created something with my hands and it turned into something amazing that I got to do like that. It was just so encouraging for me to be able to do that. And so like when I was able to teach others, I was like, that's it. We have to make sure that we get back to that inner person, that inner spunk that we have, and allow that our little diva to play. So that's kind of where I'm at in my life here.
That's exactly where you're at.
Yeah.
And you totally show up.
I try. I really do, because and it's, I don't sit there and want to like hinder myself anymore. I have always had like this really big personality in my life. And over the years, I've had a lot of people that would be like, oh, you can't be that weird, or, you need to stop being so loud, or you need to do this. And you learn to start dimming your light after so many years of people just saying these things to you or questioning what you're doing. And it was a very difficult thing for me, because I had so many of these tribulations that happened to me, and to dim my light for others to shine was something that I thought was required. And so when I was in like this desperate hole where I couldn't breathe anymore and I couldn't function and couldn't move forward with my life anymore, the only way for me to be able to get out of that was to really look fully at who I was and what was so important to me. And so I had to like learn to let everybody else around me go, even if they were still in my life, right? Even if they were the most important people in my life, I had to allow them to be and to move on with whatever it is what they were doing, so that I could breathe and that I could just continue to be who I am without having the judgment from them, even though I still get it. And it's such a difficult thing. It's just so difficult. But once you find that little spark of something that makes you realize how much joy there could possibly be in this world again. For me, I was like, I just have to hold on to that, and I have to give it to other people, because it's just so important that they know that there's something else out there for them. Because if we want to go, and we'll go deep with lots of things, when I was about 8 years old, I had an experience with a family member who did a childhood rape with me. And so that was a difficult thing for me, obviously. But it was something that was so hush hush, and you didn't talk about things, and you didn't have those things happen to you. And if it did, you just kind of like pushed it away and put it. What I did is I wrote it in my journal, shut my journal, and pretended it never happened. And then forgot about it for such a long time, right? My body was like, okay, that's it. You're not going to remember these things. It's not something that you need to have in your life anymore. And so I left it. But for so many years, because of that, I was dealing with a lot of depression and not understanding why there was these big hard things with me. And so that bring a lot to like the relationships that I had and the situations that I put myself in with other men, as well as like other people in my life, thinking, okay, well, I'm not good enough. Like I am not able to be who I am because who that person was not good enough, because all of this pain and all of these things that happened to me just allowed me not to be good enough in the situation of life things. And so then I go on and I get married to a wonderful man, but who is completely opposite of me. I'm like super loud and like want to be full of life and be a part of the party. And he's super quiet and he doesn't like people, right? So we're totally completely opposite, which is just crazy to me. So for a lot of years though, because of that, I was like, oh, okay, well, I have to like dim my light. I can't really talk a lot. I can't be super loud. I can't do those types of things, or the friendships that I want to have. Like I want to have 1 billion and 1 million, and he wants to have just one. Yeah. I had to I let a lot of people in my life go because of that, because I thought that was going to benefit him, and whatever benefited him or other people in my life was what I thought would be a priority for me. And so I went through this marriage, thinking that I had to like dim my light and be this person that I truly wasn't. And it was just suffocating. And then I have kids, right? And that's suffocating.
Right.
And as a mother, like, it's just so, like, you're not supposed to think that it's suffocating.
Right.
You know,
But you lose yourself.
You
when
lose
you're a
yourself
mom.
100%.
Yeah.
And so, like, you get all of this guilt and you get all of this shame and you get all of these things. Or like, why can't I be like this person?
Mhm.
Or why can't I have this type of life that I'm supposed to have? I'm supposed to want to be home and take care of my household and my kids and things. But it was not for me. Like, I had my first child, and after that, like, I went on maternity leave, and I knew after 2 weeks I was not meant to be at home 100% of the time, and I had to make that difficult choice where I would go back to work. And I went back to work after 2 weeks having him, and I had a lot of people that would tell me, oh, you're going to miss him, and it's going to be all these different things, and it was so liberating for me that it was like, oh, it was like the first light bulb in my life that I was like, oh, I can make these decisions. I can decide what's going to be best for me and best for my own family and my own relationships. And so putting myself in that position of, like, not being forced into what the society norm of a mother is was very freeing to me. And it allowed for, you know, you get these little crumbs, like these little things in your life that are like, oh, okay, yeah, I could do that. Or yeah, I could maybe experience this part of my life. But then I had more kids. And my second child, his name is Gunner, and he's super cute. And
All your kids are super
they're
cute, for the record.
Well, thanks. I love them a lot. But Gunner, he was born, and it was great, and it was lovely. But then we started to notice a lot of different things with him.
Mhm.
We started to notice that he wasn't really looking at us. We started to notice that, you know, he went from being able to speak a lot of words when he was like 1.5 to 2 to not being able to have any of those words that he previously had. So he lost all of this communication and stuff with us. And it was like this very difficult time for me because I'm trying to figure out and understand that there's something different about him. And I didn't have a lot of support system because, again, I gave away my friends, right? I was not supposed to be having those relationships. I'm supposed to be just be about me and my husband. And this is all just my own saying. Like, this is just me saying this to myself. And I'm like, oh, so I didn't have this support system that I needed to have to go through this. And so I went through this hard thing of, like, going to doctor's appointments, putting different things in there, and finally finding the answer that he's autistic, which was just like, and you'll probably hear me cry like a bunch of times through this, but it was just something that was so difficult because I then had to mourn having a child who is not the norm, right?
Mhm.
That's going to have different challenges and things with him. And so it was just like this whole mixture of things that was happening to me at that time. I started to, go inside myself a little bit more, and I started to question my abilities as a mother. I started to wonder if I was meant to have, a life that I wanted to have, and that I was just forced. I'm like, oh, well, now I have to be like a full force mother. I have to be there, and I have to be the one that advocates and does all of these things for him. And so, when we got therapy for him and we did all those things, and it was great. And then at that same time, I ended up having a surprise pregnancy. And it was like, and I was not wanting any more children, and it was a difficult thing for me to realize that I was now going to have another baby when I'm trying to handle my own insecurities, my own, because I question a lot about myself. I was triggered a lot by a lot of like the childhood abuse that I had, worrying about all of those types of things. And I was so isolated. I didn't have any friendships. I didn't have any person besides just my husband, who was at work all day long.
Yeah.
And for him, and he's also on the spectrum. So he was not, and we didn't know that at the time either. So I was just like, why are we not connecting? Why are we not able to do these types of things? But I was in this weird, I just want to be able to explore and to be this person. And I was married young, and I had children young, and now they're having issues, and I'm having my own issues. And so, and you get stuck in this little dark depression hole, and you don't realize that you get yourself in that.
Right.
You have no idea.
Until you're at the brink of losing yourself completely.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
Completely. And so then I have this surprise pregnancy, and I don't tell my husband. I'm like, and because he just lost his father, it was just this whole big thing. Like, his father had, he was fighting with sarcoidosis in his lungs for years. And so he just barely lost his father. And so it's like we had all of these issues and things that bombarding us, and I'm trying to like manage myself, and so I don't tell him for a few months. I don't let him know that I'm pregnant. I'm questioning, do I continue to have this pregnancy? Is this something that I want to do? And then when I do make that decision that I'm going to go forward with it, it was a pregnancy from, the darkest levels of there, because I was allergic to her. So I broke out in rashes. I had all these complications, and I'm still dealing with trying to figure out if my son is autistic or what therapies he has. And so I'm juggling all of these different things in my life, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't have anybody to turn to. And then she was born, and that was great, right? It's supposed to be great, right? And
she's
so
like the light from your darkness.
She really is. And we called her, her name is Andalyn Joy, and we call her Annie. And so she's just the cutest little thing ever. But she was a very difficult thing for me. I was in a full-on postpartum depression after I had her. Even before I had her, I didn't want to commit to her. I didn't buy anything for a child until I had somebody had a baby shower, like my mom had a baby shower for me. And so it was not any, like, I didn't want to experience it. And so I was so like, why am I like feeling this way? Why is this happening to me? And so after I had her, and it was a full year, and it was like the end of, you were at like the New Year, we were sitting at home in the living room, and it's New Year's Eve, and like my kids are screaming, my husband's asleep on the couch, and everything in the world was falling apart. Right. And I'm just sitting there, and, I put my oldest kids to bed, and I'm nursing cute little Annie. And I just remember just sitting there and thinking, I can't breathe. I can't be, this is not the life that I'm supposed to have. And, I never dealt with anything, for all of my childhood abuse and stuff before, and all of like the trauma that I had with, other relationships and not feeling loved. And I didn't take the time to like figure out who I was, and then I get married, and then I have these kids, and I don't figure out myself then either. And so like all of that was coming down at the very end of this. And I just remember just sitting there and just saying, I just need a purpose.
Yeah.
I just need a purpose. And I said it over and over and over, rocking her to sleep as everything else was like falling apart around me. And then all of a sudden, like, I went to bed, and I would like to say that it was like magical things happen, right? Rainbows come down, and unicorns like take me off to this other world, and everything is fine. But I just remember waking up the next morning, and I remember thinking that I am not choosing to live this life anymore. Like something has to change. And I made the choice that I was going to face everything on myself. Like, I'm going to be like, okay. And what I mean, like, not by myself, but I'm saying, like, I'm going to look at who I am.
Yeah.
Who am I? And why did I allow these things to affect me? And do I continue to allow them to affect me? And if so, how? And if not, if I don't want to, how can I let that go? And so that was like the start of my whole journey of like, that was
inside.
Yeah. That I went inside, and I took the time to like, I mean, because I'm a plus size, curvy looking, lovely lady. And I remember looking at myself in the mirror the next day and thinking, okay, regardless of who I look like, right, or who I think that I am, I'm not forced to be that person,
right, because
that's not who I am. I'm allowed to be how I feel inside when I feel good about myself. And I can be that on a continuous basis if I choose to be, and make the steps appropriately, right? Because we can't just magically change overnight and do the things. We have to do like the work, and we have to take the time to be like, okay, I'm going to journal a little bit and dig deeper of what these things are happening. Maybe I'm going to read some books, listen to some podcasts, or go look and follow other women or somebody else that it makes me feel better about myself that are sharing those stories. And I've always been a sharer, but in that pivotal moment of my life where I chose that, I'm supposed to be a wife, and I'm supposed to be a mother, and I'm not supposed to be who I am. When I made that decision to only be that, I left all of that behind, right? I left my friendship behind. I left connection and support behind. And so I had to slowly find a way back to that. And that was the most difficult thing that I've, like, out of all of the trauma, out of all of the things that ever happened to me in my life, that was the most difficult thing for me to admit, the fact that I was the one that made the choice not to continue relationships that would benefit me, and I had to have those hard conversations with my husband that was like, I don't understand. I thought we had a great life. We're happy and go lucky. Yeah. Everything's fine, right? Yeah. And I'm like, well, no, like, yeah, I'm doing everything for you. That's great.
Everything looks fine.
Right. Yeah. Everything looks fine.
But I'm falling apart.
Did you not notice? Like, come on, right? Because I've always had to be the strong one. Yeah. Like, I had to be the strong one at my household when nobody wanted to talk about the rape. When they still continue to have the relationships with my family member. That was a difficult thing for me to see that, okay, they chose him over me. And I left my family for years over that. And it was just like all of those hard conversations that I had to have because people don't realize that maybe, those trials and things make you stronger, but we're still allowed to break apart. Absolutely. And there still should be people in your life that can see that and to help build you back up. And if they're not those people in your life, you have to go find it. Like, if it's not your family, if it's not your husband, if it's not any of those types of things, you have to find it.
We're so conditioned to believe that we have to do all of these things alone.
Right.
In all actuality, that's the worst thing. I mean, some things we do, but it's the worst thing for us to put ourselves in a situation where we're alone.
Right.
It just adds fuel to the fire.
Right. Completely. And so when I started having those conversations, it was such a shocker to those people around me when I made the decisions to, like, I'm like, well, give people boundaries. Like, okay, yeah, that's great that you still love my family member, but it's still affecting me here, and here.
Right.
And then it was also like, okay, husband, I still love you and you're great and you're allowed to be your quiet little no person self, but I'm going to also build a life for myself. And that doesn't mean that I'm leaving you or that I love you any less. It just means that I want to have more out of my own life.
Yeah.
And you can continue to love me through that and still be in a relationship with me through that. But this is how it's going to be for me because I need those connections. I need to have support on other, like, different levels. And I think it's an interesting concept because a lot of people think that when you are married or when you're in a relationship or when you're in a certain type of friendship that it's like all or nothing with those people, and that you have to give your all and that you're not allowed to have your own separate being and your own separate life. And I know that me, like, being able to talk about that a lot more, I have a lot of people that talk to me about that. That's like, well, how are you allowed to, like, how can you go and be in a life?
It's so detrimental, though, to be your own person.
Yeah.
Especially in a relationship.
Right. It's difficult. It's like, it's hard conversations that you have to have with those people, and you have to be willing to have those hard conversations.
Why do you think it's hard? Because it feels like a selfish move, or?
I think two ways. Yes, I think that it could be like people think that it's selfish for you, right? They look at you like, I know who you are. Like, you're this person that's been this way for so many years. Why are you choosing to change, right? We question, like, why are you changing? But it's really not that we're changing. We're just allowing ourselves to be in that strength that we have gained.
To come back to ourselves.
Exactly. And so it shocks people. Like, it makes them really confused. Like, this is who you are now? Like, I know from, like, I mean, my husband and I we're going to be married for 12 years and we have a really good relationship, but there was a lot of years that it was like, when I started to do this, that he would question a lot of those things with me and he didn't understand it. He couldn't grasp what I was trying to get out of it. And it was just because his understanding is that everything was dandy and fine and go lucky. Why do you need to add more to it? Right. What else is there that you don't get with me? And I think that's the hardest part for people, because even me, like, even myself, I'm like, I'm not enough for you. I can't be your all. Like, what do you mean? I'm just so fabulous. It should only be me. Right. And so I think that's what's hard, is that we have to, because when you start to change, the people around you are going to start questioning themselves and they're going to start to change as well. And that's scary for people.
Yeah.
Some people don't want it. And that's what's scary. And that's what the hard conversation has to be about, because then they're forced to look at their own selves and see, hey, is there something that's going to be different in my life? And so that's kind of like how it goes sometimes, you know?
But it's neat that you have changed because of what you have attracted into your life, right? And who you have become.
Right. Yeah, completely. I can now, So basically, once I started changing, not changing, let's say once I started to relearn who I was, and started to love who I was, and to really be able to look in that mirror as this curvy, like outgoing, bold personality that I am, and say, you know what? That person is amazing.
Yeah.
When I was able to like fully look at her, I was able to then, make the Instagram videos of me dancing in my underwear and feeling good about it and not being ashamed with having those things, because I knew that I was that person, that I could be that person. And when I started this art thing, right? And so I started creating art, because during that whole process of me trying to discover and to change and to relearn who I am, I had to do that through art. Because sometimes I couldn't even express what I was feeling, right? I was like, I don't know. And some days I don't know why I'm so sad. I don't understand
I definitely want to talk about the art after the break, because that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
But returning to yourself is a huge thing.
Yeah.
And I know you have a lot of followers, and a lot of people probably reach out to you. Like,
yes.
How do I do this?
Right.
What's the first steps? But it really is, in my opinion, getting still with yourself.
Yes.
Like, checking
100%.
in with your heart. What is it that I really want?
Right.
What is it that's going to fill my soul?
Well, you got to ask the hard questions to yourself.
You do. You
and that's the hard. Do you want to have those answers? Are you ready for those answers?
Right. Are you ready?
So
are you ready to show up for yourself?
Exactly. Yeah, because we could ask ourselves those hard questions on a daily basis, but if we're not ready to hear the answer, we're never going to hear it.
Not just the answer, but the follow through.
Right.
Are we ready to do that?
Right. Exactly. Yeah, because I think that's what led me to that New Year's Eve, when I'm just in tears and seeing everything for the first time.
Yeah.
I was able to like I am here.
Yeah.
And this is not who I am. I was able to see that person for the first time, even though it was years and years and years and years working itself to this point. I was like, and so that's when I was able to start asking myself those hard questions and having that follow through.
Yeah.
It's because I knew that person sitting in that chair with the chaos around her was not the person that I was going to continue to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so I did a lot of journaling. I did a lot of meditation. I read a ton of books of, I don't even know of what. I couldn't even really give you a specific one, like this saved my life. It was just a lot of listening to others and hearing others' stories. So that's just the most important part.
That was good. Perfect timing. You guys, we only have to take one break tonight because of our late start. So that's good.
Yeah.
We're visiting with Audrey Christensen tonight, and we're going to take just a few moments, but stay close, because afterwards we have an entire hour of soul wandering with this goddess.
Woo-hoo.
We'll be right back.
Where will you be this September 13th through the 15th if you are a critical thinker seeking answers to questions like, what are aliens? Are they demons or visitors from other worlds? Do they have an agenda? And if so, how do we stop them from interfering in our lives? Then the place you need to be is Branson, Missouri, inside the Mansion Theater, as Gen 6 Productions presents The True Legends Answering the Alien Question Conference 2019, featuring writer, explorer, and filmmaker Timothy Alberino, author, lecturer, and filmmaker L.A. Marzulli, and UFO researcher Richard M. Dolan, UFO investigator Chase Kletzky, investigative reporter George Knapp, world-renowned researcher and author Steve Quayle, and many more. Reserve your seats or order live streaming now at gen6.com. That's GENSIX.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You know, food was different 60 years ago. It was minimally processed, free of pesticides. It was nourishing and healthful for your body. Today, GMOs, pesticides, herbicides, and heavy processing have depleted the nutrition of our food supply, which takes a toll on our health and energy. It's harder than ever to get the right nutrition. That's what Life Change Tea is meant to counteract. Our specially blended, powerful herbal formulas can give you more energy without caffeine. It's a mild cleanse, a mild daily detox. A good detox can help revive and bring back the energy of your youth. GetTheTea.com is the website. It'll cleanse you from the inside out with this herbal proprietary formula. Go to GetTheTea.com. There's no fillers, no GMOs. It's organic. Not available in stores. You must go to their website, GetTheTea.com. And their supplements are a great way to maintain your health. Read the testimonials on the website. Go to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com.
Hey, is that a new music app?
Yeah, check it out. Surfer Music Discovery. It links to thousands of online stations, but the twist is you see the song names and artists that are now playing live.
That's different. No guessing. Looks like a waterfall of music.
So many formats. Rock, oldies, country, R&B, jazz, and a whole lot more.
How's that spelled?
Surfer. S-U-R-F-R.
Is it expensive?
It's free. No need to sign up or sign in.
Get the Surfer Music app free from Google Play or the App Store.
It's not a lifestyle we chose. We were born this way. KGRAradio.com.
Hello, you are listening to Soul Wanderings on KGRA Digital Broadcasting, Salt Lake City, Utah, Hudson Valley, New York. And you can find Soul Wanderings here as well as many other platforms for your convenience, such as iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, YouTube. You can go to YouTube. The official KGRA radio is on YouTube, and that's where you can actually get the latest show archives. So wherever you guys are joining us from tonight, hello, welcome. We're happy to have you wandering here with us this evening. If you guys have any questions for our guest, we are heading into the second half of our wandering, commercial free. So there's still time for you to ask. Make sure you hop on into the chat room by going to kgraradio.com/chat. Tonight we are wandering with this amazing powerhouse of a woman. Her name is Audrey Christensen. She's a textile artist and a self-love promoter.
Heck yeah.
I love that about you.
Yeah.
So I have to admit, I'll admit to the whole world right now.
Okay, let's do it. Let's hear it.
I met Audrey because I found her on Instagram and started stalking her.
So that's my favorite thing. Please come stalk me.
Yeah, and I realized she's in Ogden. She's in the same town as me.
Yeah.
And I started clicking things together because people had talked about your little puppet classes, your doll classes, and things like that. And it started like, oh, this is who it is,
Yeah.
Started work. And so, of course, we had a mutual friend, and I was like, yeah, we need to meet for coffee. That's got to be a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
And here you are.
I'm so excited that I got to meet you because it's just been great. So it's been wonderful. So I'm grateful that I'm here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's really awesome. One thing that I've really admired about you on Instagram, you guys, she does these live stories or videos or whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
You always show up so authentically, whether you're having like a kick-ass day or a super depressing day or whatever that looks like, you completely show up.
Yeah.
Where Instagram, a lot of people will do the filters or fake it through what they're going.
Yeah.
You just show up.
I think it's important. I think it's important that we just are who we are. And regardless if I have a business or not, right? Like I had a lot of people before I started my business be like, all right, Audrey, you got to make sure you do this. And you know what? I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Because my art and my art classes and stuff that I teach is about me.
Yeah.
Like I started it because of me. And I am sharing it with the world because of me. And I want people to have that connection with me. So I am all about sharing the real deal life things that are going on. And it's very personal. It's like a personal little like journal. Like I always tell people that like I word vomit on there because I just tell you how it is and how I'm feeling that day or the things that are happening to me. It's just important for me to have that connection because I longed for it for so many years, right? That when I finally found it and I knew that I could find it through the art and through teaching those classes and building those friendships and having people like you that I get to meet, it's just so vital to me because that allowed me to then discover myself and to love myself and to see myself for who I truly am. And then when I saw that others got to do that with me, and then I've had a few people that have done classes and stuff with me that continued on, and that's so exciting to me because I could be like, oh my gosh, and like cheer them on and like see them grow, which is amazing. It's just an amazing thing.
Well, what you do is so empowering. You allow a space for others to show up and be themselves too.
Completely.
By being yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Which is so cool and so needed because, you know, in society we are always shown all the things that we should be.
Right.
Or whatever that looks like. That we don't realize like we are amazing in our own right, on our own selves. Without having someone tell us who we are.
Exactly. Like for me, like as a bigger woman who is loud and obnoxious, right? According to the world, that was
according to the world,
not to me anymore. That was for years that I thought that. But that's because I was shown that. Like the norm for me as a person was not allowed. I wasn't allowed to have those spaces and I wasn't allowed to love my curves. I wasn't allowed to love my loud personality. I wasn't allowed to love me being open and sharing those types of things because we were told that we weren't, right? And so having more people that are willing to have that courage to show up exactly as who they are is a vital thing. It's a vital thing for others to start loving themselves and to take those steps that will challenge you and to make you think outside of what society believes you to do. And that's what's so important. It's so important. And so that's like when I am on Instagram or when I'm in a classroom with you or anything like that, I want it to be a free, open space that you do feel that love and that you do have, a place that you can come to knowing that you are not going to be judged for who you think that you are, or any of that kind of stuff, because whoever you are, whatever you do, however you want to show up in the world, that is a valid way for you to be. You can even be just the normal stereotypical person and we would love you. It doesn't matter about any of those types of things. It just matters of how it makes you feel. Like if you feel good about yourself at that time, great. If you feel good about, doing something different in your life, maybe going and choosing a different job or being in a different relationship, great. That's fantastic. You get to have the freedom to do any of that kind of stuff, regardless of who you are, what you look like, what gender you are, what person you love, any of that kind of stuff. All of that stuff is just, yeah. It's just be who you are. That's all that matters.
How did you get involved in the art part?
Yeah. So, I thought when I was working on myself and trying to figure out who I was supposed to be, right, with this purpose, this magical purpose that I asked the universe for, right, because I bared it out, right, like I said it out loud, I said it multiple times, I was asking her to bring it to me. There was a lot of those times, those silent moment times when I was journaling and meditating, that she's like, you need to go back to who you were and what made you the happiest. And I used to, when I was a child, like my mom would tell me all the time, like, you would just color all over your diapers and all over the walls and all of these things. And you just loved it so much. And I was like, yeah, I did. I loved it so much. It brought so much joy to me. And how I started was like, I wanted to create something for my daughter, right? Because I finally fell in love with her, which, yay, great,
Yay,
fantastic.
go mom.
Woohoo, right? Getting out of that postpartum, that's a difficult thing. And then you have to rediscover your love for your children. So if you are there at that point, it's natural, it's normal, and you will love them eventually. And so I found this.
I love how open you are about it.
Yeah.
I mean, keep going with your story, but I love that you said that because we beat ourselves up so much for feeling ways that are sometimes completely out of our control.
Right. I had no control over how I was going to feel about having her. And so when I found my love for her, I would say that it was, maybe she was 1. You know, and I was like, I remember when I was a child, my mom used to create things for me. She would sew all of her clothes and she would do all of those things. And I remember being in her sewing room and I'd be like, oh, that is just it was just a place of joy that I had. And so I was like, wouldn't it be great if I made something for Andalyn, if I made something for Annie, like if she could just have something of me so that she could feel that same connection that I had with my own mother. That would be so important. Like that would be great. And so like you do the whole nursing in the middle of the night thing and you know, search the internet for whatever in the world is. And I was on Instagram and I went down a hashtag, you know, wormhole, and I saw somebody that had created a cloth doll. I'm like, oh, that would be so fun. You know, I'm like, that would be just an amazing thing to do. And so I asked my mom, I'm like, Mom, could you teach me how to sew again? Because she did when we were younger. And I'm like, I would love to create something for Annie so that she could have something of mine. And this was at the same time that my mom was creating her own, like she started sewing again and falling in love with it again. And so we bonded over this thing of creating together. And I made my first doll and it was the worst thing. It was awful. It was just like, it was it was ugly. It's the ugly. My son still has it. He loves it to death, but I'm like, don't show people that. It was the worst. It's the worst piece. It was the ugliest piece of art that you ever saw in your life, right? It was just nothing was sewn correctly. I did it all wrong. It was just, I look at it, it's floppy. It's just, I look at it now and I think, how could I ever like that? That's the weirdest way to start, right? But I was so proud of it. I remember like my mom took us out for my birthday. For my birthday dinner, and I brought it to the restaurant because I was like, look at me, I made something on my own, and I handed it to her, and I'm sure she was, you know how you like your kids give you like a noodle necklace or something and you're like, oh, that's just wonderful, but she didn't do that at all, which it's the thing that I love about her so much, is that she was just like, oh, this is magnificent. This is just the best thing I've ever saw. And she just, you know, gave me so much gush and so much love that I was like, it built up my confidence, right? Like, yeah, that's right. I could sew something from my own daughter, right? You know, like I could give us something else. And so I was really excited and I just became obsessed. Yeah. Because the way that I felt when I created that and to see somebody else react to it was so important to me. Like the validation that I got from her and then the validation that I got from my oldest son, who is 10 and he sews with me and he's just amazing. And the validation that I got from him and spending that time in there, you know, and as my younger kids were running around throughout, you know, pulling everything down and doing all that stuff, but just all of the energy, just the kids stuff, all of the energy that I got from that was just so rewarding to me that it was like, it was important. Like I could not stop. And so I just sewed dolls after dolls after dolls after dolls. And then I started to make them into make people and then I posted it on Instagram and got validation from people outside of that didn't know me, that didn't do that. And that's when I found like a space for me. Like I found people that got me, that understood me, that didn't just love me for my art, but they loved me for who I was being. And I was able to, because it's so easy to be behind a screen and to be who you are without having to worry about face-to-face interaction, right? And I was in this vulnerable place that I was like, I really want to be who I am, but I don't want to show up, right? And so it was easier to show up on the internet that way. Yeah. And then I saw how much joy it gave other people, and then I started getting direct messages and I started to get these things and I started to get emails and I started having people comment and we started to build this community of these women who just have felt like how I did. And it was just an amazing opportunity to be a part of it and to do that. And then I was like, well, now we got to do this in a group.
Yeah.
Can I find people like in person with me, and let's like just sit and create in a group? And just the way that it just everything went how it was supposed to.
Yeah.
And I started to create these classes, and people would come and we would just spend time, even though we were creating art, right? And I was teaching them how to sew.
There's always great conversation.
Oh,
though.
always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love art classes.
Oh, it's just the most amazing thing. And then it just literally, I felt like everything melted off, right? And you were allowed to be free.
Yeah, it's like therapy.
Oh, it was
better.
Yeah, it's so much better. Yeah, right? Because you don't have to go in all the nitty gritty, but you could if you wanted to.
Right, because it was a safe place.
It was a safe place. Yeah. And so then it just evolved into all of these things, which then I was like, okay, great. Now it needs to be, like now I'm like thinking, how can we empower each other? How can we do other things with each other? And so it's just morphing into all of these amazing things that I'm so excited for. And so I changed my business. Like I started a business. That's what I did. And then I changed it up again, and I was like, okay, I got to make it Hey Be Fab. I got to do, that's my business name. And I was like, let's just like be fabulous, and let's just take over the world as women, or even men. If you want to come join, that's fine. But we were like all about like, we got to just do this huge, big connection. And because of that, and for so many years, I was able to like gradually start to love myself and to see myself for who I am, and to see others appreciated that was so empowering to me, that I remember specifically there was a time that I was able to look myself in the mirror, and my full-on glory nudity, right? And all of my fabulous curves and everything else I was going on for me. And I was like, that's it. She has her purpose. She has it figured out for right now. And she is glorious. And there is no need to not think that I am ever not loved and that I'm not enough, because I clearly am. And I just cried, and I just sobbed looking at myself in that mirror, because I saw myself for the first time in a way that I wished and that I wanted to be in that moment of despair that I had on Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, that I was there, and I was like, I can see that I got here.
It's the moment you came back to yourself.
Yes, the moment that I came back to myself. And she was just so excited. So it was a glorious thing. And so I just continue to believe that the more that we show up, and the more that we share, and the more that we talk about whatever it is, because everybody has certain trials that's going to affect them in a certain way, and things that you don't necessarily think is going to allow you to have that strength or that purpose. If you share that and you open that up to you don't even have to go off like crazy like I do, like on the internet. You could just have some support system, or find a way to just write it out, or to do anything that's going to release whatever that is that you feel like is holding you back. And you're going to eventually get to the point that you're like, okay, I can love that person for those moments of hardships, because it's not like I don't love her, who like the person that I was during that time. When I was in that ball of depression, because I'm so grateful for her, because look how strong she is to be able to get through and to be where I am today. Yeah. And that's amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's so empowering to watch that journey unfold.
Yeah.
Even before I met you, just watch it on Instagram and know, like, I've seen you when you were having moments.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of us. You have a ton of followers, but just watching that progress that you've made, from the dolls to the textile art where you stitch and paint, and to the iPad art, and just how you're flowering. It's such a beautiful process witnessing you.
Well, and I think that's what's so great, that I was able to share and be so open with, because I tell you, like, when I'm like, oh, that's it, guys, I'm at the end of my rope, I'm at the end of things, and just being able to know that I can be lifted from those around me, and that you get to be a part of my journey, it means just the world to me. And I am attracted to people who do the same, right? Because that's how we grow and we learn, and we are able to not only do well for ourselves, but to do well for others around us.
Yeah.
And my own family, like my husband went from like wanting to never really be around people to growing and doing things too.
I was actually going to ask you how it's affected your marriage and your personal life.
There and we'll be honest, there's lots of moments that there's still like questioning, right? Like he always wonders, oh, you're doing so well for yourself. You're doing these amazing things. You have these friendships and things. Why do you need me? Right? Like that's kind of where he's at in his own life. Like, why are you here? What do you need me for? But it made me look at him and our relationship in a different light, because I'm like, I need you for this reason. Like, I need you for how blunt you are. I need you for how you support me emotionally. I need you for how you allowed me, right? And it's not even allowed, but just the fact that you gave me a space to be able to grow was just so wonderful. And that we were able to still be in this relationship regardless. That is so much more important to me than anything else. And I've fallen more in love with him. And I think our relationship is a lot more stronger than it has ever been in the past. Because during that time when I was in that ball of depression and didn't know what I was about myself, I would question a lot of the things that he did. Right. And so I would be so like, oh, you're mine and you can't go anywhere. And we'd hold on to this space because the only thing that I had was him. But when I realized that I can let go and that he would still be there, and that for him the same way, like right now he's letting go and seeing that I'm still there, that's a very empowering thing for him. And so I think it's an important thing that we can, with a group of people or a family or whoever you're in a relationship with or whatever, once you allow yourself to let go from them and let them to grow and to change into what they're supposed to be as well, it gives you the strength in a relationship, in my opinion, like how it's worked out for me. And then like my children, I love them more now, right? Because I have learned how to love them appropriately for myself.
Right.
I mean, they're going to be all consuming, right? Like I'm their mother and I consume and I feel guilt and I feel all of these things with them, but I am able to see them in a way that I need to. And I am able to say, okay, even though you're my children, I'm putting a boundary on this space of my, as well. And it's okay. Like all of that is okay to be quote unquote selfish, right?
Well, it is all about the balance.
Yeah.
And it's necessary.
It's so necessary.
You have an incredible amount of support in your community as well.
Yeah.
How have they influenced you?
Oh, so, I mean, I have this wonderful relationships with these powerful women, that they're all like, we do these like dinners and different things that we sit there and we encourage each other and we lift each other up in those moments that we're like, okay, I don't think I can do this anymore. Like, can I really keep making this art? Can I really like be forcing myself into making this into a business? Can I really continue to do these classes? Can I do these things? Am I good enough to do those things? So when you doubt yourself and you put yourself around these community of women that are like, yeah, you can, like, yeah, you got this, and you have that support system, it's a wonderful thing. It's so needed. I think it's needed for everybody, that you need to find somebody. You just need to find somebody that's going to be able to connect with you, even if I have so many more online friends than I do in-person friends, and people say, oh, internet friends are not real friends. That is a lie.
I don't agree with that.
Not at all. Like, I have really good friendships with people that are just online that I'll never meet in person, that live across the pond, right? But they support me in a way that I've never been supported ever in my life, because we were able to have those really deep conversations, even if it's just through a comment or a DM or an email exchange. Like, you don't have to go out in the world to experience a different part of it, but it's awesome when you do.
Yeah.
Like, it's so awesome when you do, and you can find that in person too. And so that's why I'm like, I like having the in-person classes and teaching all of those things and bringing people together, because it's so amazing to be able to have those connections, and there's a different way to connect, but it's also amazing to have that support with the community that's just online as well. So it's just pretty cool like that.
It is pretty cool like that. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. So you asked me before the show, like, or you had made a statement about you not being the typical guest for Soul Wandering.
Ooh, yeah, no, it makes me, I was a little nervous, because like, I'm like, I don't know.
Well, yeah. And I want to point that out, because Soul Wanderings is, I mean, we all have a journey story. Mm-hmm. We all have experiences to share with one another. And your stories are your own, definitely.
Right.
But I feel like every person can relate to the experiences that you've gone through.
I hope so.
So not just the trauma that you experienced, right, but the relationship stuff, the kid stuff,
right,
the finding yourself stuff, and
right,
the self-love stuff.
Right.
the biggest thing I feel in our society is the self-love and accepting who we are or what we look like or whatever that feels like.
Right.
It's so big. It always has been a big deal. It always has been. And I love that we are becoming more open and aware that all bodies are different.
Right. Yes.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
Where I'm also full figured, I've had a lot of comments or whatever that looks like, how I should look this way if I'm doing this in my life or this in my life. And I find it really ridiculous.
Right. Yes.
Because my mind is just as curvy as my body, you know?
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be put in a box.
No, not at all.
When I saw you doing your little dance on Instagram for the first time in your underwear, I was like, you've got to be kidding. She is amazing. This woman is amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that it took a lot of courage.
Yes.
And a lot of self-love for you to do something like that. So share with us that process. It may be kind of hard because I know we're so hard on ourselves.
Right.
But how did you get there? How did you get to the state of mind where you're like, this is who I am and I love myself?
Well, I mean,
the outside as well as the inside.
Right. I mean, I feel like for me, a lot of it came down to like letting go of the abuse that I had.
Yeah.
Because it was very difficult for me to have, relations with my own husband. It was years that it was a struggle that for me to even have that connection with him. It was very I forced myself to be in that position because I didn't think that I was worthy of having that love. And even though that he loved me regardless of it, it was just still like, it was a lot in my mind.
Yeah.
It's just all in, it was all in my mind.
is.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And there was just like a lot of like, you do the whole thing. Oh, I went on the diet and did this thing and did that thing. And he would tell me constantly like, oh, why do you need to do that? Like, you are beautiful how you are. And you don't believe it, right? You don't hear it.
Yeah.
You don't see it the way that others around you see it. So I couldn't rely on what his opinion of me was. And so I think it was really due to the fact that like, after I was able to like, see myself through art, right? And I would express myself and I would draw full figure, women that were kind of curvy or naked women. I really like to draw and different, that kind of stuff. I was able to be like, that's okay. It's this person right here is okay. But it was a very like small, everyday process. And I can't tell you like specifically, oh, well, you go out here and you say this to yourself. But it was more of just like, every day I would look in the mirror and I would do it full force, like naked, all ready to go. And I was like, okay, who are you today? What one thing can I love today? Can I love, my shoulders?
It's a great place to start.
Yeah, they're good looking shoulders. Have you seen this lately? Fabulous. Can I love like my hair? Can I, what could I say to myself today that I'm going to love? And then every time I walk by a mirror or, brush by somebody, I can be like, brush my shoulder by you today because it's just so looking good today.
Yeah.
It was just more of like, and I looked at myself in a different view. Like I looked, okay, this is not Audrey, right? This is somebody that I would see out on the street and I would see them confidently walk in with their shoulders looking great. And she's going to be fabulous, right? So I can show my shoulders. Because for me, it was like, I can't show my legs. I can't really show my belly. Because that was like, oh, that's so like, ugh, right? Plus, I don't like to shave my legs. So I was like, that was a big thing for me.
So you don't have to.
No, and I don't anymore. So, and so I was just like things like that I was like, okay, if I saw somebody out on the street, I would be so impressed.
Yeah.
I would look to that person like, oh, I just want to be like this person that can just walk out there like no big deal. And then I'm like, why can't I be? And so it was just slow progress. Okay. And really, can I tell you the truth? When I would dance in my underwear on my own to music on my own without recording it, I really loved who she looked like. I really loved that she was confident. I really loved that she let things jiggle and it was fine. And so I was like, okay, if I can love her by myself in a room here, with not having to put it out there to other people to see and force them to look at me, then why can't I do that too? Like, why can't I take a video of myself and see? And I started to, like, you know, you feel yourself and you love yourself and you do all of that stuff. And to be able to see that I could get confident on that video, even if that video was just going to be for me, right? Then I was okay with that. And then it was just like, okay, if I'm okay with taking a video just for myself, what would it be like if I chose to put it out? And it was so scary. I mean, it's so scary.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Well, it's scary even with your clothes on.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Yeah. And so I did it. The first one I did, I was like, okay, cool.
And it doesn't matter your size. This
No.
is for anybody.
For anybody. Yeah, for sure. For anybody. Just the confidence of loving who you are, or how you look, because we are, as women, we're conditioned to not love ourselves.
Right.
Because that's how they make money. Right. And so we're supposed to have a certain color hair. We're supposed to be a certain way. We're supposed to wear certain clothes. We're supposed to smell a certain way. Right. All of these different things are so that they can sell us things, even though we know, we understand that and realize that. But being able to look at ourselves in a different manner. And sometimes maybe a video is important, or maybe looking at yourself in a mirror and saying, okay, I'm going to love my shoulders today is important to you, or whatever that is. It's just something that you repeat to yourself. And even if you don't believe it, you don't have to believe it right now. To love yourself later. You just have to be willing to admit that you could possibly, maybe there is a slight chance that you could possibly love yourself today. That's important. Like, if you could just be like, maybe once in the mirror, I can be like, you're looking good today, Audrey. Because, I mean, even, okay, before I came here today, like, I'm wearing these bright orange pants and my shirt, and my shirt's tucked in, right? Whereas normally before I would, like, untuck my shirt because my belly's people are gonna look. So I walked, before I went in my car, and I saw like a reflection of myself in it, and I was like, oh, right. The first thought, I should just untuck my shirt, right? That's not who I'm supposed to be like. But I reminded myself, I'm like, no, I can still look good with my shirt tucked in and bright orange pants and be totally fine. Like, nobody's gonna care. And so I had to, even today, say that to myself. So it's not going to be like you say it to yourself once, you look at yourself in the mirror and you're fabulous all the time. Working on yourself is going to be a consistent thing. You have to just be willing to do the work at all times. And you can take a break from that too. You don't have to do that all the time too. So
I love that. I love that pep talk. I had that with myself today.
Oh, good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll share it with you later because this is your show, but it's an amazing reminder of meeting yourself where you're at. Yeah. And loving yourself through it.
Right.
It's so cool.
Yeah, it is.
So you had Instagram stories today, and you asked your people.
Yeah.
Ask me a question.
Ask me a question.
And I will share it with you on the radio. So you had some questions pop through.
Right. So Mike, a lot of the questions that I get from Instagram is, how do I start a business? So, like, how do I start selling my art? I would love to.
Is it always about the art with the business, or just a business in general?
A business in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, how do you, take yourself to the next step? And I think a lot of people think that because I have a business with my art, and because I'm selling my art and I'm teaching classes and things, that's why I'm more confident, is that I'm able to do it that way, right? Oh, you're making money, so you're like a real artist. And so I when I even have my classes, people will be like, I'm not a real artist. I can't create art. I can't do this. I'm like, you don't have to make money off of your art to be considered an artist, and you don't have to be running a business to consider yourself to have a purpose in life. If that's what you want to do, that's fabulous and that's great. But it's just more, it comes down to like being confident about your abilities on those things. And so whatever skill that you have, it just comes down to, are you willing to take it to the level that you want it to be? Like, what do you want out of your life, and are you willing to go after it? And if you want a simple life, can you continuously have that simple life with the things that you're currently doing? Or do you want to have a bigger, grander life that's full of all of these things that you think that you need? Is that really what you need? So like when people ask me those questions, it's just more of like, okay, but why do you want this? What about this attracts you to it? And what's the purpose for it? Like, what do you think you're going to get out of this that you can't get out of yourself right now? Like, does a business require that Do you selling your art require you to do that? Leaving your job, doing something else, is that a requirement for you to be fulfilled and to be happy? Like, happy is this like magical word that everybody thinks that once you get it, you have it forever, right? And once you all you need to do is find that one thing that's going to continuously give it to you, but it's not that way at all. It's just merely just a moment. So you have to do a lot of work to get those moments. And you have to be willing to put yourself in positions that are going to require you to grow and to have strength and to have that confidence that you believe that you need to have that moment of happiness. And so when people ask me that, like, how do I start a business or what do I do here? It's more of just, okay, well, what do you want out of it? Why do you want it? Why is that important to you? And so if you ask me that, and that's what I'm going to ask you, what's the point? What's the purpose of this? And why do you think that you need to have it?
That's another time where it's important to ask those hard questions.
Right.
Me being a business owner myself, this is my third business, plus having the show. I have to check in with myself on a regular basis.
Right.
Like, what is it that I want to achieve?
Right.
Where am I going with this idea or vision or goal or whatever that looks like? And how much work am I willing to put into it? And for how long?
Right.
Because a lot of people start a business not realizing that they are pretty much sacrificing
so much.
Yes. So much.
Yeah. And it always looks easier.
It always looks easy from the outside.
Oh, yeah.
And they think, I'll have my own hours. I have my own business. I can do what I want. And it's never like that.
Oh, no.
You give up
so much.
A lot.
You do. And you have to be willing to give that up. Just like you said, you have to sacrifice that.
Yeah.
And that goes for anything that you choose to do in your life, business-wise or not. Like, are you willing to sacrifice things? Are you willing to sacrifice relationships? Are you willing to sacrifice time? Are you willing to sacrifice whatever it is to get to that point in your life?
Right.
Do you want that?
Because that's what you do. You do sacrifice friendships and family events, and you lose money, and
and you have to be willing to be okay with the fear, right? There's so much fear that goes along with it. So are you comfortable with that? Like, are you going to be okay with that? So if you want to start a business, great, you should totally do it, and all you have to do is just do it. Right? Yeah. If you want to create art, great, fabulous. Then do it. It doesn't my doll, the first thing that I ever made that was specifically towards what I currently do now was the worst thing ever, right? It was the worst doll that I ever saw in my life, and I would show it to you. I'll show it to you if you want, like, you let me know. But it's just not something that you would find attractive. It's not something that you would think, oh, this is. You have to start in the mucky, yucky stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that goes from searching your soul and bettering yourself and coming back to who you are, starting a business or starting a new career or starting a family or starting a relationship. Everything starts off in the icky stuff, right? Like you are born out of like this hard thing that happens. You're not just born easy, come here you go. You start off life difficult, and you have to learn those little steps to grow into who you want to be. And so it's just important that you just start. And that's all it comes down to.
Yeah, one step at a time.
Yeah, completely.
Everyone thinks this is the thing. When I first started, I had a cupcake business many years ago. But I didn't want to jump because I wanted to know all the answers first.
Oh, yes.
And I wanted to make sure everything was
husband.
Meticulously planned.
Yes.
Because I didn't want to take a risk if it wasn't.
Yep.
And my partner at the time was like, no, that's not how this is going to work.
Right.
We're just going to jump. And I was like, no, that is scary. I don't want to do that. But really, you do. That's exactly, I've learned that with my last two businesses. You never know what's going to happen. It's so unpredictable. You literally just.
Even if you plan it out,
have to jump.
It's not going to go your way.
Never. No. Never. Just like with anything in life, it never goes
it can't. It's not allowed to go your way because then how do you grow?
Exactly.
Where do you get growth from? Where do you get challenged from? Like life is just is meant to challenge you. That's what it's for. That's the only reason why you are here. That is the only is to find your strength and to be challenged and to grow.
Yeah,
that's the purpose.
So you were talking about the show, you not being the usual guest.
Yeah.
Another part of the question I had in that regards was we do talk a lot about spirituality on this show.
Yeah,
and what that looks like for our guests.
Okay, cool.
So So tell me your viewpoints. Are you more of a religious person or a spiritual person?
I would say spiritual.
Spiritual. What does that look like for you?
I believe solely in like the universe. Like I believe in like that she's a she to me, and she's glorious. And I would say that she has a lot of energy. And she provides me with that, with like intuition. Mm-hmm. I feel a lot of things. Like I base a lot of like what I believe on how I feel about it. Does it make me feel good? Is this going to help me through my life? Mm-hmm. I also believe that I have a lot of spiritual angels and things around me in that way. I get a lot of signs from that. I dream intensely and get a lot of my answers through there. And so, and like, I have just started into this process of allowing myself to be okay with that, right? Mm-hmm. For so many years, my family is LDS, right? And so for so many years, I was put into this box of how religion should look like. And I've always been different and on the outside of that. And so to be able to be okay, I'm at this point in my life right now that I'm like, that's okay if I believe in the woohoo stuff and they don't, right? Yeah. Like I believe in cards and, pendulums and crystals and, bring me the universe goodness. And
that's right. Yes. I remember seeing some of that on your story.
Yeah. Now. Yeah. And so like, I'm dipping my feet into that and I'm interested in more. And it's been a fun journey for me.
It is fascinating.
Oh yeah. Completely.
And I swim in those waters, obviously.
Yeah.
When I live at Vibes.
Yeah.
You'll have to come and have a swim sometime.
Oh yes, I would love to. It's been fun so far figuring it out. So,
what's been your favorite divination tool? You've played with cards and pendulum and crystals, and what's been your favorite
out of all of those things that you listed?
Well, all the things that you brought up.
Okay. So I would say for me, lately it's definitely been cards, and I do more of like the angel cards, which has been, and then I've been using like a pendulum, which has been interesting. But there for all of the trauma and stuff that I had in my life, like in my childhood, abuse and stuff, I have met a lot of amazing women and healers, and I've done a lot of like energy work with them.
Oh yeah, I love that.
And I can tell you, like I've done therapy, I have done all of that junkety junk, right? That you just talk about things and that's great. But it works for some. But I would continuously be thrown back into being triggered into all of those moments of abuse for me. But then I went to a foot zoner, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, here, let's go back even further. So I did a commissioned doll, a tarot card reader's doll. And so I made her a gypsy doll. In exchange, she gave me a reading. And that was my first reading I ever had in my life. And
it was good, huh?
Oh, man. I didn't know her. And I mean, I share a lot on my Insta stories, but I don't share a lot. So, like, you know what I mean? Like,
not as much as what's really going on.
Right. Not like that, so she brought up a lot of things that I was like, how would you know? What would you do? Like, how is this? And it was like a 2-hour, like, right?
Ball session.
And I was like, this is amazing.
You'll have to let me know when we're done with the show who you went to.
Okay. Yeah, sure. And then, so then it was, I did that. And then I remember I went home and I'm like, okay, husband, when are you going to do that too? Let's figure this out. Like, this is great, And then I started meeting a lot more people that were in that realm of life, which was fantastic. And it's great that there's so many of us out there that believe in those types of things. And so it was nice to be able to go in that realm of things. And so then I did a foot zoner, which just amid like this, it was kind of like this, they were the same people, like the tarot card reader and the foot zoner, like said the same things to me, did the same kind of stuff, released different things. And it was just, and they didn't know each other and like, you know what I mean? So it was just like all of these things were aligning for me that was like, wow, this is real. Like this is cool.
Really happening.
It's not just like what I want it to be, right? Like not just in my head. And then I did, and I went to an energy worker. And what's the thing where like they do muscle testing?
Okay. Oh yeah. Muscle testing.
Yeah. Okay. So she did a lot of muscle testing and stuff on me, and which was really interesting for me.
Do you muscle test yourself?
I started to.
Oh yes, I love muscle testing.
Yeah, and so that was great. And I remember I was in that session and like she like started to move like my energy around, right, from different parts of the thing, and it was like I have never, like, she moved all of the stuff and I was flush and I was like all taken out. And I remember leaving from her in that session and it was like, I actually was okay with everything that happened to me, like all of the abuse, like it was actually physically removed out of my soul. And that blew my mind. And so that I could tell you, like I was telling my husband before, I'm like, oh, we might talk about like all of this, like my trauma and stuff that I have, but it's just not something that's so big and heavy for me anymore. Like, because I've talked about it so many times for different things that I would always have like these, this hard reaction that, maybe a couple of days later, it's going to be something that would affect me. But because I went to her and I have done all of these different types of energy work, I was able to not like, and right now I could tell you for sure that when I leave here today, I'm not going to go in this big depression that I would about the whole trauma. It's going to be something that has been released and that has been taken care of.
Right.
And that's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah.
It's insane. It's just, I can't, like, I am so grateful that I get to now experience this world and I want to learn more.
I love that you can feel that energy be put in a different place.
Yeah.
When I've talked about my trauma or abuse in my past, people will make comments on how, well, you're not crying.
Right.
How can you be so disengaged with what you're sharing? Well, it doesn't control me.
Right, exactly.
It was something that happened, I look at it now, for me, and not to me.
Right.
And there's a big difference, and that's part of the healing process. And I feel like once someone goes through that experience, you can explain it to them, but they don't know until they know.
Right, exactly.
And energy work is absolutely unbelievably amazing.
Yeah.
With the right practitioner.
Right. Yeah. Right. For sure. And that's an important thing. find the right
Do
ones
your
that work
homework.
for. Do your homework.
Do your homework.
Yeah. And that's like when I'm going into this world of all of that, it's kind of like, I want to make sure that I'm doing it appropriately and respectfully and not just kind of going on with that. You know what I mean?
Well,
so
it's about learning to trust yourself too. Like what feels good for you.
Right.
And knowing what your intuition is saying and showing up.
And trusting, exactly. Completely trusting that. And that's because I've always had like, I'm a dreamer. And so I would dream just intense things. Like I dreamt about all of my kids, even the one that I wasn't supposed to have. I dreamt that she was coming, but I didn't believe it. I didn't trust it. And then I dreamt about like big life events that happened to me too. And so it was just, and I'm a person that can dream and I can go back into my dreams and I'm like, okay, I'm not finished with this. Before I went to the healer, I had a very intense dream about my young 8-year-old self of when I was, the trauma and everything that happened and how I was following her through all of these. It was like I was in this house and it was me watching. I was in a group of people and it was all of like what I find out later is to be my ancestors, because I'm considered the chain breaker in my family is what I've been told.
I could see that with you.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So, and which is great. But so I had all of these past people with me in this group and we went into this house that had lots of layers, levels and different stairs, things. And we were searching for somebody we're missing, that was supposed to be in our group. And we're searching all the way through this whole house and we're going into this room and we're going into that room and it's not there and it's not there. And it's just this big intense thing where all of it, like we start at the very top of this house and we work our way all the way down into into the basement. And when we're in this basement, there's some stairs that's going up into like a little loft and there's like purple lights that are flickering and all of the people that were behind me said, well, I'm not going up to that loft. This has to be the only place where this person is, but I cannot go. And so they're saying that they're not going to go with me and we're having this big long discussion about it. And so I make the decision, okay, fine, I'll go. I'll be the one that goes up these stairs in this weird, crazy place. And so I walk up these stairs with these flickering purple lights at me. And I get up into this loft room that's like completely dark. And as I'm walking up the stairs, there's a little girl that's 8 that looks like me, right? And she's leading me into this room. And I get into this room and there's some like skeleton bones and things that are in there that's like supposed to be like really scary. And I go into this room and And then she leaves, and I'm in there, and I just remember like it's to the point that I'm supposed to be screaming, and I'm having this big, and I can't do it, and I can't breathe, and I can't do this, and I realize that I'm in this dream, and I'm trying to get myself awake so that I can stop it, and so I finally do, and I wake myself up from this dream, and I was like, okay, that's great that I had this dream, thank you very much, but I'm not done with it. I want to go back. And I went back to sleep, and I dreamt it again, and I went and searched other rooms and found different things that I needed to know.
Wow.
And then I went to the healer, and all of the things that I found in those rooms, I found with the healer, and we were able to release all of that. And so it was very great for me.
Mm.
And so I was able to then like justify, like I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing with my dreams, and my intuition is something valid, that I can go into this realm, and I can become this person if I choose to, and I'm going to have that intuition, and I can learn to be a healer for myself and maybe for some of the people around. So
I can't wait to see where your journey takes you in that regard.
Yeah.
Your energy has always been like, even I know you more on Instagram, but since I've met you, it's tangible to me. Like it's familiar.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it just is really good to be around you. Your energy, I could see how you would assist other people in that regards.
Yeah.
Be very healing. Because we only have like a few more minutes. Tell me a little bit about your website. You have some amazing blogs.
Yeah.
Is that what you would call them?
Uh-huh.
And you've also started vlogs.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
Which I'm enjoying.
Ooh, good. Because it's just kind of me, whatever. So.
Yeah, well, I like you, whatever. It's good.
Good.
So tell everyone about your website and how they can get to it.
So my website is just BeFab.
Mm-hmm.
So BEFAB. So HeyBeFab.com is my website, and you can read a lot of my blogs. And my blogs is essentially just like my journal of different experiences and emotions and things that I've had. Sometimes it's talking about what's going on or what I've done previously, but you can also find like events that I'm doing. So any like community classes and things that I am doing, as well as online classes and stuff, can be found there. And then, like on Instagram is like my main jam. Like that's where you really find a lot about me, is through that, especially just on an everyday basis. So if you're doing that, it's just the same thing at HeyBeFab. And then my vlog is on YouTube, and I'm not at 100 subscribers yet, so I don't have like a link that I could send you there. So you'd have to find me through. I know, come on, people, get it together.
That surprises me.
Well, it's new. It's new.
It is new.
Yeah,
she has thousands on her Instagram, and if we could all go over to her YouTube and support her, that would be amazing.
That would be so great. Yeah,
for us and for you.
Yeah.
It's been so awesome having you here with us.
So much fun.
So much fun. I love it. I like to ask some of the guests before we say goodbye, do you have a favorite quote or a favorite book that has helped you through your journey that you would like to share with us?
Well, that's intense.
Put you on the spot.
I know. Yeah. I would say, really honestly, it's just, I don't know if I have like a favorite or anything. I think it's just important that we hear other stories. And so I can say, like,
so keep listening to Soul Wandering.
So keep listening to Soul Wandering. But I would say just make sure that you are loving yourself, because it's so vital. Yeah. So like if you get out of anything from this conversation that we had today, is that you know that regardless of where you are in your life or what is going on in your life, you are the person that you get to love. And so that's important. And so if you can find the love for who you are, you will be able to find the love all around you. And it's easier for you to see how much others love you when you choose to love yourself. And so that's what I would want to leave you at, is just make sure you're freaking loving yourself.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that quote, change your mind, change your world.
Yes.
Because when you start looking at things differently inside of yourself, the whole entire perception of the world around you changes.
Exactly.
Wow. It's been so great having you here.
Fun.
I'm going to keep thanking you just because it's so fun. And because you have so many experiences and so much inspiration and motivation, I'll definitely love to have you back.
I would
Plus,
love it.
We kind of got gypped a little bit tonight.
I know. Come on, technical issues. No, I would. But I did it on purpose so that I would come back on here again. That's what it was.
It's really cool, though. My producer totally showed up and got it worked, and I love that about him. So. Yeah. But yeah, definitely.
That'd be cool.
Thanks
I'd be
again.
into it. Yeah, you're welcome.
Make sure you guys go to heybefab.com, HEYBEFAB.com. And there you can connect to all the
Everything
social
else, yeah.
media links and all of that good stuff.
Uh-huh.
Next week on Soul Wanderings, we welcome to the show Marie Jones. She's a best-selling author of nonfiction and fiction, a screenwriter and producer, and she owns her own production company. She's also appeared on television and radio shows all over the world and has hundreds of writings in magazines, guest blogs, reviews, short stories, and more. And she lectures widely on the paranormal, unknown anomalies, science, metaphysics, and human consciousness. So be sure to join us next week for another live wandering with a new guest. Soul Wanderings can be found on all of the main social media platforms, as well as Soul Wanderings.
Ooh.
I kind of got into the soul.
You got to get really into that soul.
soulwanderings.com. And also, guys, make sure you're following all of the KGRA on social media, like Facebook, on Stellar, YouTube. Make sure you share with your friends and family so we can have these conversations and talk to each other about all these things that matter. Thanks, everyone, for being here with us tonight. Be sure to have a happy day. Good night.